fix our problems? Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try? Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try? Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try? Caught up in trying to find a problem. Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try? Fed up with trying to fix our problems. Why do we lose our minds, lose our minds? But between the lines, because you bent the truth, now it's hard to find a place for me and you. I know you're paranoid, but that does not excuse the way we've paved a void and made ourselves confused. Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try? Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try? Ending us before we try. Caught up in trying to find a problem. Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try? Fed up with trying to fix our problems. Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try?
Hey, they screaming this is my moment, my fate written, I'm chosen. Other spirits fall, but mine has ceased to be broken. You stripping down my pride, but time my only opponent. And lately I abide, but limitless I've awoken. So let me show you that everything I sacrificed mattered. All that blood, sweat, tears that I scattered. All that fake talk, fear that you splattered.
Turning love to dust, 'cause we know we can't change. Feeling what we lost, but we still come back for more. Running out of time, but the hands are missing. It's an uphill climb. No more, no more. I see you hide the stars. listen to me speak, but just say what you want. What words will you keep? The ones that cause us harm. You assume the worst, but that is yet to come. Because you caused it first, and now we've come undone. Caught up in trying to find a problem. Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try? Fed up with trying to fix our problems. Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try? Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try? Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try? Caught up in trying to find a problem. Why do we lose our minds, ending us before we try? Fed up with trying to fix our problems. Why do we lose our minds, Look between the lines, because you bent the truth. Now it's hard to find a place for me and you. I know you're paranoid, but that does not excuse the way we've paved a void and made ourselves confused.
I'm Eric. I'm Jason. I'm Chris.
Here comes two. Hi, I'm Eric.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Chris.
And we're I Beat It First. Yay!
You had us still. There we
what
go.
the hell's going on here? Go away. There we
You
go.
had us still in the two.
I had it. I did. I had us on the 2-person one on accident. Whoopsie. Oh well. It's fixed now. Twitch. We're on the 3-person podcast. I don't know. Somebody took forever to get in here for the recording, so I didn't have a chance to really test it out ahead of time because we didn't have a third person in here.
I was looking at standing desks. What do you want from me? I was looking at standing desks. They have pretty RGBs on them. I was just like, this is pretty cool. Like, you're at like different levels of nerdness when you're just like, ooh, that's some really sexy cable management going on with this desk right here. That's really nice. And it's just like, then you sit back.
It's got the RGBs. Oh,
It's got the RGBs. It's got the hidden compartments. It's really nice. It'll look really great crammed in my deep, dark office corner. It looks so nice.
It will.
I'm just like, I just sit here. I'm just like, why does it matter? Like, I was like already on Amazon. I'm just like, hey, a couple $100, I can get a standing desk and I can just fuck around with it and do whatever. And then I find this one and it's like $1,000 base. And I'm just like, what? Why? Let me look at this. And I was like, oh, damn. Fuck. All right, I need this.
You're a gamer basic bitch. That's why.
I'm a gamer. I just found the pumpkin spice latte of desks and I want that bitch.
Technically, RGB is the pumpkin spice latte of the gaming community. Let's be honest here.
It is.
So much RGB, and I try my damnedest to not have any of it. My tower is tucked away in a corner way down here. There's no RGB there. I do have my XR1 that just sits there and flashes RGBs all the fucking time, sitting on my desk. But that's pretty much it. Oh wait, I guess I can turn this on. Turn that on.
I like to have them, but I always turn them down. Like I have nanoleafs on my wall here, and right now they're just doing like, it's called twinkling midnight, so it's like very light, like anything of color that's going on. And it's really funny because just like I'm paying all this money just to have RGBs be very basic and not very bright. And I have my hues in the back and up there, and they're also on kind of dark. The only light I have in here that's not anything is my overhead, and that's just so that you can see my gorgeous face on Twitch, which you can do at twitch.tv/IBeatItFirst. Just like
shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Video game podcast and streaming.
Technically, actually, I guess streaming would be the pumpkin spice latte of video gaming now.
No, I don't know about that because, like, I hate Starbucks. Like, you and I talked about this, I think, over the weekend, Eric. It was just like, I really don't like Starbucks. Like, they're an espresso shop. I like coffee a lot. I like espresso, but I like good espresso, and I don't like Starbucks. There's nothing I like at Starbucks. Starbucks, you're going there for the flavor of whatever and stuff like that. If you're just like, ooh, I just want to have an espresso or a black coffee, stay the fuck away from Starbucks. They're not good for that. But what they are good on is like their add-ons to stuff. So if y'all want a good cappuccino, they have pretty good cappuccino. You can get an espresso with the cappuccino, your lattes, and all that stuff like that.
Americano.
What Americano, of course, Americano.
Mhm.
That's the only thing that I get at Starbucks on the norm is an Americano because my wife is like gold, triple star, platinum member, or whatever the bullshit that it is.
She
when
goes
it's
there
just like, "You're a
all
consumer
the goddamn
whore.
time. And
You
how?
drink all this bullshit all the time." Now, the only thing I will admit, hand to God, I'm not here to hate on anything and not own up to it, is the fucking pumpkin spice latte. Like when that comes out, I turn into the most basic asshole, and I'm just like, I'm ready to wear my vest, my puffy vest, my Uggs that go up halfway up my pants, and my skinny jeans that I plug into, not plug into. Look at me, I'm still thinking about desks. And I tuck into my boots, and then I go into there and be like, 1 pumpkin spice latte, please.
You do like your
Not
little
grande.
magical transformation. You just turn into basic white
Dude,
bitch.
yes. He's got like, I have like a little like pumpkin one. It's like, yeah.
This is not what Jason said to me over the weekend.
I
What
wasn't
Jason
about to-
said to me
I
over
wasn't
the
about to
weekend,
admit that.
because we were
Wasn't about to
talking
admit
about
that.
the Nespresso machines and how much he loves the pumpkin Nespresso, and I believe his exact words, "Well, I will suck dick for pumpkin Nespresso."
Pumpkin coffee. Like I am such like any of my friends that I normally talk to about coffee, all of my BS and stuff like that, I will like make fun of them for adding cream to any of their stuff or anything like that. I'm just like, you want a little coffee with your creamer and all that shit like that. Like I'm one of those assholes. Just like, no, I'm a
Black
purist when it
coffee
comes to
only.
my coffee. Black coffee only. But when it comes to pumpkin, I'm just like, yes, bring me all the pumpkin flavored coffee things you can, and I will gladly eat that. I don't know why. I don't know why. Now it's not everything pumpkin. Like pumpkin beers, I'm over that. Pumpkin candy, no thanks. I don't even really like pumpkin pie that much. But you put that all into coffee for whatever reason, magic space juice. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Oh man, did we all forget to crack a beer?
No, I got mine. I've been cheap.
Oh, I didn't
already
crack
this whole
one at
time.
all. I got so sidetracked on the oops. I still had the 2-person overlay up. We could only see bits and pieces of us and then parts of black screen. So I forgot to crack
Not
open
here.
my beer. All right, well, Jason, what are you drinking?
I am sucking down Lizard Head Red Ale. It is from Steamworks Brewing Company in Durango, Colorado, and it's decent. It's a great red ale. It's only 5.7, but it's got that
Red
really
ales aren't
nice,
usually that like crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they have that great malty flavor that a red will normally have. And this one, Lizard Head, Steamworks did a great job with this Lizard Head, and it's tasty. And I bought a whole set of it, and this is the last one of it. So happy for that. Oh, and then I have
Nice.
some moon juice as well for if I run low.
Moon juice. I like moon juice. Moon juice is
Yeah,
probably
moon juice
one of the
isn't
best
bad.
Santans that they have out
I
there.
think I would be hard pressed to argue with it on Eric, just because just like name one that's better. It's just like I like Mr. Pineapple, but it's not like I'd like go out of my way to get Mr. Pineapple. Mr. Pineapple is great when someone's just like, hey, I have Bud Light or Mr. Pineapple. And it's just like, I know what I'm choosing. So
As a person who avidly hates pineapple as a fruit, I will tolerate Mr. Pineapple the beer, but you want to know what Mr. Pineapple really shines as? Beer for chili. It actually works really well.
yeah.
Like dark beers work really, really well for chilies, but man, Mr. Pineapple, it's like got just the right amount of sweetness gets added in with all that. It's good. It works really, really well. I hated myself when I found that out because I was like, I'm gonna make one, and then I looked in the fridge and like at what I had and like my choices, and I'm like, fuck it, let's go. And that's what I chose. And god damn it if that didn't make a damn good chili, I'm not gonna lie. Well, I just have good old bullet bourbon, not rye, regular orange label. But and then also the good old standby coffee Kolsch.
Coffee Kolsch. Always a good one.
Yeah, been a while.
Yep. It's so tasty. It's like it, and you can always go back to it, and you're just like, yep, nope, that works. Yep, that's all that you need is coffee Kolsch. All right. Well, I guess should we get into news?
I think so.
Let's do it. Let's get into this.
Let's get into the news, everybody. It's been a very no, it hasn't been action-packed. It was actually a fairly light couple of weeks, but that's okay because
It did have a big bomb though.
it did have a big bomb. It had one big bomb that we'll talk about probably fairly in depth, which is good because then we don't have a whole lot to talk about. We're going to talk about one of the first rumors that came out really today, and that is that the next PlayStation 5, so well, not like all these weird little iterations that they've been doing where they've been paring down like the heat sink and stuff like that all throughout it, but the next PS5, when they come out with the PS5 Slim, is supposed to have an external disk drive, so an add-on disk drive that would be the Blu-ray drive that's connected up to it, and it's supposed to not look like an add-on, so I don't know if it's like you can buy it and then buy like a new like external casing that kind of like it slides into, maybe, I don't know, but that's the rumor around there, and it's supposed to be from a Sony insider that this is all coming from, and it kind of makes sense. One, because the disk drive is one of the loudest, it's actually the loudest fucking thing in my PS5 right now. That thing, like, you can hear and feel it spin up, and I don't feel shit from my PlayStation 5 when I'm playing games other than that. So like, unless it's actually activating the drive, like, that's it. So it would make sense that they would do that. It also makes more sense to do this now than it did when Microsoft tried this way back in the day with the HD DVD drive.
Yep.
For two reasons. One, because Chris brought up the HD DVD drive like immediately, like right when we got onto this call. And I was like, well, we'll talk about it, because here's the big things with the HD DVD drive that Microsoft did. One, HD DVD was going to fail no matter what. HD DVD did not get the backing of the porn industry like Blu-ray did. And as we learned in the Betamax VHS thing, porn sells everything. If
Not
porn
everyone
backs
knows
you,
that anymore.
stop touching stuff, Jason.
I broke it again.
Porn is what leads the way in all technological advancements, which is why, like, the internet, porn helps that out immensely. But Blu-ray, like, that helped out a lot with that, porn on that aspect. But the other thing is that the HD DVD drive on the Xbox 360 didn't actually play games. It was only used for watching HD DVDs, which was a floundering piece of technology anyways at that point. So it makes kind of sense to do it now, especially considering data transfer rates are much faster with externals, because it would be another USB 3. So that makes sense.
With the data speeds being what they are, I actually really like this idea. And I'm actually really surprised that they didn't do this from the beginning. And because it's just such a simple idea of being like, look, data transfers are what they are now, that are like way faster than ever before. There's no like lag that, I mean, they can say that and be like, there's no like difference to it being there. Everyone gets one PlayStation 5. We're only going to make one. And that way we don't have any of this kerfuffle as we continue to make it better or smaller and all that bullshit like that. There's only one. And if you want it, you can go buy the drive. And you could make this drive even more, because what was it? Remind me, forgive me.
Was it $100
difference? $150. So you could make it $200. You could have been like,
well, it's a $100 difference between the two versions of the PS5. But if I remember right, the HD DVD drive was like 150, maybe 100.
Well, that's still what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that, like, as Sony, you could have been like, instead of making two of them only being $150 apart, you can be like, we're gonna make one, and anyone that wants a disc drive, you can get it for an extra $200. And they would have then made money instead of losing money. Like, because people would have done the same exact thing where everyone's just like, I need that disc drive, so I'm going to hunt for that. And then that'll be the thing that they're always out of. And that makes a lot more sense than being out of consoles constantly. I'm sure it still would have been a problem with COVID and all that jazz like that. But this, to me, would have been a much smarter release for them to be like, hey, you know what? You know how Xbox has all these like ridiculous versions of their thing? We're going to release one. And then you can customize it to wherever you want. You have customizable storage. You have customizable the disk drive. You have customizable everything. It's basically your friendly neighborhood PC. That would have just been so easy to do.
They would have gotten lambasted by people saying like about nickel and diming people and whatnot too. Then like, which is always no matter what, you're going to end up with that
now.
But you're gonna end up with it no matter what, though. That's what I was trying to say.
They knew they were gonna release. They knew they were gonna release this anyway. Like, it's not like this is like, hey, you know what? we should do an external drive. They knew it 2 years ago when they were going to do this.
Well,
it was going to be their plan.
And I think though that they initially went in and they released the slim version to see like how, or not the slim, but the discless version to gauge how well it would sell, because of the fact that they very much were still tied to a physical format. And Microsoft has tried pushing the envelope before, but we've talked about it. Like digital distribution didn't work a few years ago because internet speeds were not where they
just 5 years it was not possible.
Yeah, it was, and it was ridiculous. Like we're like, this is not the time to be pushing it. 5-6 years from now, yes, that is, but not right now. And now,
holy shit, we've been doing this podcast that long. We've been doing this podcast that long
because we've actually said it.
We said this.
We have a recording of this.
Oh
God.
my Lord,
we're on
my
episode
God.
135 of our podcast right now.
Holy shit! Holy
But yes,
shit,
we
that
have
is
actually talked
insane.
about this. We have written about it. We have talked about it. The Microsoft was always trying to push the envelope, but they're always trying to do it too early, and they never had they thought that they had the foothold in the industry to push the envelope, but they never did. Somebody like Sony or Nintendo can, but Microsoft's never actually had the foothold in the marketplace the way that those companies do. So Sony, yeah, they were probably gauging it, and finally, like, we're like, okay, you know what, we actually probably could sell this without a problem. And let's not forget, though, that the physical drive versions were always the ones that were sold out the fastest and earliest during COVID, before the discless ones. People would stop and wait for the disc versions rather than getting the discless ones. But now, as we move further on into the console cycle, and there are more people switching to digital distribution rather than worrying about, like, am I going to be able to play my PS4 games on this during, like, at the early days, that I think is now getting into a better setup for it. So we'll wait and see if this actually happens, and then what they look like. I mean, shit, it's still the newer one, or well, the newest version is still giant. It doesn't weigh nearly as much as it has before, like we talked about on the last episode, but it is still definitely, like, not anywhere near slim sizing at all within that.
No.
But then I also wonder, like, are they just going to make it thinner and still use the same plates? Because they put in so much into these plates finally. Like, what was it, a year to a year and a half later that they finally came out with the plates?
Isn't it like, doesn't it all form factor like shrink just a little bit though? I thought the whole like main body of the Slim did actually shrink down.
Oh, it has before, but they may not do that. I'm wondering if they're just going to make it thinner.
I mean, the big thing is with the why it's so thick is for the fan. I don't know. I mean,
Who knows?
who
I
cares?
don't know.
Who cares? I mean, because at the end of the day, it's not like you're gonna like be like, my plates from my old PS5 won't fit on my Slim PS5. If you have that problem, you don't care about your new plates because
First
you
world
have
problem.
money to burn. Yeah,
First world
exactly.
problems.
So I mean, like if you're just like, I gotta buy.
It was just
custom plates for my
just
car
a proposed question, Jason. I'm not
angry
I'm not
about
going to complain about it. I still have white. Like, I haven't bought any plates yet. I was just
I don't
wondering.
plan
Like,
on
that
it.
was just a question.
I just want a gold controller. That's all I want.
I
want
want gold plates. And I may just go and buy the fucking stuff to make it gold myself. I may just leave my entire thing and just call it a fucking day. I think that's that's the best.
Oh, gold leaf.
like full on like being like getting the foil like she's and being like,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, with the
Holy shit.
adhesive and whatnot, and
Oh.
get that all on there.
fire
yeah.
truck.
Shit.
I
Speaking
might
of
I
first
might
world
just
problems,
do that.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
Oh man. All right. Okay, so we're gonna move on. An article came out over the weekend. I found this fucking hilarious because at first you read the headlines and you're like, this is kind of dumb. And it's the
I had to look up
Pokemon
what
company.
That word meant.
Do what?
I had to look up what that meant.
Oh, what Nuzlocke meant? So the Pokemon Company isn't a
what?
fan of Nuzlocke or the Nuzlocke challenges. So for those of you that don't know, Nuzlocke challenge is basically like where you play Pokemon a specific way and you impose like all these hard set rules of like permadeath and all sorts of stuff in order to do it. And an article came out that was interviewing with the people that used to run the Nintendo Minute. They are no longer with them. We still don't know exactly what happened with that. They just like that was the end of it, and they're gone. And they run their own podcasts and stuff like that now, and their own YouTube channel. But they were talking with somebody about like what it was when they brought this up, and they thought about running the Nuzlocke challenge for a Nintendo Minute episode, and they brought it up to the hierarchy at Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, and they literally said that they liken playing Nuzlocke to game ROMs and hacking.
What?
Yes.
Don't you fucking do that. Got you.
Yeah.
How dare you make our game better? I don't.
It's not even that it's making it better. They're making it harder.
Harder.
Well, no, but I mean, like, I want to find some enjoyment with your game. Your game is easy garbage trash because they are.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you don't have any voice acting. You don't have any like actual like challenge to your games. I get it. It's for kids, but so is Call of Duty apparently. So we can definitely make this a little bit better or more in advance, and it could just be a fucking setting. So simple to do, right? And here we have a way to do that to make sure that we still enjoy your content, people. And if you're just gonna be like, no, you can't enjoy our content that way, then you're what are you, Metallica? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So they wanted to do it, and they got told no. Which is
Good.
I just read that article and I just started laughing. And I'm like, we've talked about this before in my dealings with Nintendo at my previous company and whatnot. And there's some weird ass shit that they will put stipulations on things. And it's like, man, oh man, what the fuck, people? just be a company. And it's not like anyone's doing anything like wrong. They're just like, we don't want to condone people making our game harder. Like, what the fuck?
This is the thing that you need to step in on. You're right. You're
Yes,
absolutely
this
right.
is what you
Exactly.
need to put your foot down on. You know, pick your battles, people. Pick your fucking battles.
Pem Bowser though. What? I don't. What's going on over there? I don't know.
Oh.
I've never heard of that before.
Our game's about cockfighting, okay?
It is. It's
You're not allowed to do that.
We're about the purest cockfighting. You know.
God, what was the other thing that I likened it to? Fuck. I forget what it was because I sat there and we were talking about it, and it was like that was like that's always been the thing, is that we're like, you know, Pokemon has just legalized cockfighting, yada yada yada.
Yeah. Rocket
And-
League's PETA, and then you said something else.
Yeah, no, and I really want to find it because it was a good one. I sat there and was like, holy shit, like I can't believe I just thought of that as far as the thing, and I'd have to go back through and find it, but man, that was a good one. Shit. Crap. And then there's just so much happening in our Slack. It's like I don't even know where to find it at. Like, which channel was it in? Where are we
I
at?
think it was our...
Dude, you can't even search our Slack channel without being like,
No, our
I wanna
Slack.
search
Oh, here it
for
is.
that-
I found it. Pokemon trainers are just cornermen for boxing matches that can start at any moment. There we go. It's like I just sat there. I'm like, holy shit, that's right. Because like honestly,
some of that for the sequel.
well, yeah, and you just sit there and you're like, jab, jab, uppercut, yeah, body blow, That's all that you're doing.
All right, come here. Let me rub your eye a little bit. All right. Get some water. Get back out there.
And Nuzlocke is the cut man. No, wait, no, we can't do that. All right, getting into tech news, Intel is finally, and by finally I mean like this is a long fucking time coming, finally retiring the Celeron and Pentium processors.
You could buy a Celeron. Let's see. When was the first time? Celeron was 2002? No.
2000.
2000?
Say, I think. God, it was so fucking long ago. But
So long
the
ago.
best part is when the Celeron was made, because the Celeron, they came up with this ingenious idea to make 1998 was the first Celeron, the first celery. They came up with this ingenious idea to release a processor with zero onboard cache. And it's like, why? This is like the worst pile of dog shit processor that you could possibly get. And then they started releasing them with like minuscule amounts of cache on them too. And that's where they were saving money. The Celeron processor was the exact same processor as all the Pentium processors, with the exact same piece. Once they started going into multi-core, it was the exact same cores, all that. All they did was they're like, yeah, we're just gonna give you like 0 memory. I still don't fully understand how the Celeron processor worked with 0 onboard cache. And sim memory. Sims. This is how long ago? We're saying a word that Chris doesn't understand was actually a thing.
Sim before dim?
Yes. Yep. It was single inline memory modules. Oh my god. It's but the fact that 24 years later they're finally getting rid of the Celeron name and the Pentium name too. The Pentium name predates that. Like the P1 was their first major x86 processor that they had. I mean, you could say like the 386s and whatnot, but it was just an Intel 386. So it's like these are the processors that have been around for the longest time, but they haven't used the Pentium name really much. Like the Pentium name became synonymous with the Celeron.
And then like they did like Pentium, and then they did like hyperthreading, and then there were like the cores, and then
but I'm talking about like right now, like they were using the Pentium name like interchangeably with the Celeron in a lot of cases.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah. like that's just what they were at. Like there was like here's like our standard cores, and then we have the Pentium over there. It's kind of the same thing. It's used for pieces of shit.
The Pentium.
All right. Well,
the name's so synonymous with Intel that Weird Al made a song about it.
Oh yeah, it's all about the Pentiums, baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's the end of an era, I guess. Yeah. So I mean, now they have a great naming system of numbers.
Supposedly they're going to overhaul the naming scheme a little bit too, just like AMD has said that they're going to overhaul, because they're not fans of the 5700G, like 5700X, like, and all of those things. So they're going to start changing their naming schemes. But the thing is that it's really fucking hard to change naming schemes like that.
Not in my opinion. I think that they need to just look at the from a branding size, because what they're doing with the numeric branding and naming scheme, I should say, is that they're isolating a lot of people that don't pay attention to these kind of things, because it's confusing and it's not really known. It is. So what they need to do is just be like, we got the Intel not Pentium, not they're just we got the Intel Big Yo Edition XXL. You want the extreme? It comes in camo, and you know it'll be good. I mean.
But I'm saying more that they have 9 different processors.
Now comes with RGBs.
So you're gonna come up with a new name.
Come in and be like, "Hey, I want a computer with the Big Joe processor. You know, do you want that in pink or regular camo?"
Oh my god! But what would they call the Big Joe in like Europe?
Blue camo.
Would they just call it the American processor?
Sure, they could call it the Big McDonald's for all I care, man. You can just like.
This is the Big Mac.
I mean, you got Big Jim. You can be Big Jim anywhere. Jim, like what's a synonymous name of anything? Big Juan. I mean, that's even funnier too, because it could be sounds like it's the big one.
Well, but in Europe they could call it the Big Mac processor, right?
Oh,
because McDonald's lost that fucking suit.
And then AMD's like, "Fuck the Big Mac. We got the Royale."
That's right, Big Royale with cheese, camo edition. Do you want to supersize that? You know you fucking want to supersize that. Comes with 64 gigabytes of fried cheese RAM.
But
Oh my
okay,
God.
so going back to like actual talk about this though, is that they have like 9 to 10 different processors in each family. So it's like you'd have to come up with different, like coming up with the naming scheme is the hard part. And I guess that you could theoretically just do it as like the 21, the 22, like that, make it a little
You
bit
do
simpler.
it like cars. No, you do it like cars, where it's just like, hey, you can buy, the piece of shit S version, piece of shit SV version, or piece of shit XLSV version, more is better. So you just do the same thing. You have the little Frank, you have the big Jim, you have the great Mahama, you have a wide load 2000. Which one do you want to be like? Do you want to tell your friends that you have a little Frank processor? I don't think so. You should upgrade to the Big Jim or Wide Load Mahama, because it's going to let them know that you're bringing the shit.
You got the
I
big
have no
Jimmy
idea.
double wide.
You got the
So
big, you got the big double wide. You got the double
You
wide
got the
for your
big
double
Jimmy
wide.
double wide deluxe.
That's what they can even team it up. They could be like, hey, you buy one double wide, you get the second one for free.
What was that Instagram post you shared, Eric?
Which
Were
one?
you supposed to buy a washer and dryer? It was buy one get one free. Yeah, it's a great deal. Yeah, but not with the refrigerators.
Never know.
Oh.
Never know, man. Double wide, big Mahama, and comes.
So they would
with-
have to start
comes
doing
with
it in model
comes with
years
the
then,
big gulp,
which makes sense.
Comes with a
then.
big gulp, and a case of beer, branded beer, Big Jim Mahama beer, light beer,
Do they
gaming
have
beer.
big?
Do they have
actually? I'm
gaming beer?
assuming they do have big gulps in Japan
Yeah, they got.
at 7-Eleven. Because we've seen stuff where they go and get Slurpees and stuff like that at 7-Eleven. So they would definitely have to have like a big gulp there, or not a big gulp, but whatever the equivalent is at 7-Eleven. Because they love them some 7-Eleven. So
Yeah,
let's
they
be
do.
honest there. All right. Okay, we're taking a long time to get through these pieces. It's all right. In news that like we hoped wasn't true, but then also was true, Rockstar was officially hacked, and a shit ton of Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto 6 stuff was dropped, showing like a lot of like the new way that they're moving forward with Grand Theft Auto 6, that they're apparently looking to make Grand Theft Auto more woke, which I don't think works really well. It's going to probably work about as well as Saints Row going woke. Like,
Grand Theft Auto is pretty already like woke. They're very like, that's been like their thing, is that it's very tongue in cheek of how they do a lot of stuff. If
yeah,
your
but they're
definition
getting
woke
rid of
is having
like dead cops and stuff like that. The
dead cops.
Yeah. Killing cops.
Like, what do you mean they're getting rid?
They're getting rid of
getting
killing
rid of
cops.
killing cops.
Yeah.
That's not woke. That's just being PC. Like that's
Similar.
that's
It's
just
part of it. Yeah, but
it's just eventually it's going to be pro waterboarding is what it's going to become, and they're going to be like, we thought of it first. It's just like, no, it's just a bunch of bears running around shooting each other. I mean, this is in essence going to become Fortnite is what they're planning on doing. And if you can't have, like, a lot of people forget that Grand Theft Auto like was originally created as a mimicry and making fun of America, because it's from a British publisher from back in the day, and they're like, here's our rendition of what it's like to live in America. You're just stealing cars and killing hookers. That's America for you. That's
and you know who loved it?
in America.
Okay, that's what we're about.
This runs great
is
on my
awesome.
Big Jim PC. I love it. It took off like crazy. So I mean, to me, it's just like, yeah, okay, make fun of it as much as possible that you can, because it's supposed to be just like here's a ridiculousness of what this country or mentality of.
But they've moved away from it being like make fun of. Like, that's Saints Row, in my opinion, is making fun of it. Whereas
Saints Row's not making fun of it. Saints Row's just like, what can we do to make it ridiculous? Like, we're not even like trying to like just be tongue in cheek or making fun of it or anything like that. There's no cinematic value here. It's just like, how many people can you murder with a giant dildo? Figure it out. 'Cause, that's the whole point of this game. It's not about having like a interesting experience. It's just being like, I want to be like I would love to wear a cowboy mask and hat and fly through the air in my rocket ship and shoot people with my penis gun. I think it's just like, all right, yeah, I get that there's some fun with that, but I mean, then that's the same aspect of, like I said, like other games that just jump the shark like crazy, like Fortnite or whatever. Where it's just like, hey, yeah,
Yep.
here you have Dragon Ball Z characters, using MP5s to shoot each other. Why not? Who cares?
And Spider-Gwen now, which is the new
Yeah,
season
Spider-Gwen is
that started.
the new one, yeah.
But it is a little funny / weird that they got hacked like pretty much right around the 9th anniversary of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Do we know if it's actually a full-on hack, or was it just like?
Oh, they acknowledged that
and
they got hacked.
They acknowledged
acknowledged
it.
it.
Yeah, they acknowledged that they got hacked. It went on all their social media. It was on Instagram. It was on Twitter, like everywhere. And the news came out over the weekend, and a lot of people were like, "Oh shit, did they really get hacked?" And they couldn't. They were trying to believe whether or not, like, it was all factual. And then Rockstar came out and corroborated everything today with their posts.
Yep.
So everything that you saw on the internet this weekend for
real.
Grand Theft Auto 6 was real, folks. So,
And non-stop too. It was just like,
yeah, it was all
oh
over
my
the
god, my
place.
feeds were just not like, it's just like, shut up. Like, you think you're the first person to figure this out? Get that out of town.
Yep.
That's me.
All right. Let's see here. Going on to the next thing. Sony has officially voiced opposition to the Microsoft takeover of Activision, saying that giving them the reins to everything would not be good. While Meta, the people behind Facebook, have said that they think it's a great idea. So, you tell me who you want to believe in now. Well, no, Facebook is Facebook. Meta is the parent company. So
That's right,
before,
it's like Alphabet.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
so
like
before,
Google.
yeah,
Yep.
Facebook was Facebook, and then they changed the name of the parent company for everything into into Meta. So Meta has come out, the overarching company, the company that makes Oculus and all that now, because they bought Oculus. Why invent stuff when you could just buy it? They have said that they think it's a great idea, and Microsoft, in their way of combating everything, has finally admitted that Sony outsells them every iteration of their consoles. But by
now that we
saying
own this
that,
IP,
they're like, it's fine. We don't have to worry about it. Why would we remove it from the best-selling consoles out there, the consoles that sell the most? Why would we do that?
It's just gonna hurt us.
why would we buy an IP and then immediately destroy 60% of the market share? Like that,
Yeah,
that'd be just
it
like the
doesn't make
dumbest
sense.
investment you can possibly make. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's what they're trying to say. But at the same point, they'd probably do it. I don't see any reason as to why not. And the big thing is that you're trying to remove the capabilities that they could do it, and that's the biggest issue with like,
They're gonna
stuff.
put it
Yeah.
on Game Pass. That's 1000% what they're gonna do.
Yep.
They're gonna be like, it's on Game Pass for free day one. You want to pay $70 for it? Go ahead, buy it on your PlayStation.
Yeah, because
or
they're
your-
not
or
gonna
whatever.
they're not gonna ink that deal with Sony to have it go
No.
on.
Fuck no, they're
to
not.
have it go on
So-
that. Unless Sony gives them
Absolutely
a
not.
fuck ton of money. At which point, if Sony gives them a fuck ton of money to have it on,
Then they're winning anyway.
Plus,
Then they've won.
Yeah.
then they've won, and that's their whole goal within that. But they will definitely like come up with every possible way that they can to fuck Sony with this endeavor. Like, you can guarantee that they would. Like, if they didn't, I'd be like, that's not Microsoft. No, that's not a company. There's no
That's not
way.
the company that I loathe and hate. There's
Yeah.
like, come on,
No
Come
way.
on.
Nah.
come on.
Come on. Come
What
on.
are you guys doing here?
All right. Let's see here. Xbox has now added How Long to Beat integrated into the Xbox PC app. So
Yep.
you can look at
That's nice.
a game and see how long it's going to take you to beat it, and then hate yourself when it takes you twice as long as they said that it was.
This is just so fantastic. I love every aspect of this because it shows you not only just like their estimations, but it's just like the main story, main plus extra, completionist in all styles, and it just gives you kind of an idea. If you ever been looked at like oh god, I don't remember the name of the website, but I think it's the one that they collabed with. It's just kind of
How
fun
long to
get
beat?
an idea.
Yeah, it's How Long to Beat.
That is the name of the website. Yeah. How long
Oh,
to
that's
beat?
right. That's how long it was.
Yeah.
What it is.
So it's all
So it's just it's
it's
fun.
just
It's
bunch
interesting
of
stuff.
people would submit their times and stuff like that for.
Some of those
In fact,
times
you know-
though were fucking weird though. Like every time that
Yeah.
I've looked at Persona 5 on there, the
Well,
how
it's
long
based
to
on
beat is
people
way
entering.
longer than like what I've done.
It's
It's
based on
based
people
on what
entering it. It's
people- yeah.
aggregate data for sure.
Yeah.
And how long to beat was something that I was thinking about when I first thought about IBeatItFirst.com, not for timing, but like for literally that being like I beat it first. It's just like I did it. Here's my little thing that's saying that I did it the first. That was the original thought process of what this website was going to be. And obviously I failed in every aspect of that because at the end of the day, no one gives a fuck. So we'll just make fun with it.
Yep. No one gives a shit how many platinum trophies you have.
Yep. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
All right, we're gonna save the big one for last, Chris. So, like, you can just have to sit there in anticipation for what we're gonna talk about with that. Ubisoft has now said that they are moving all AAA games to $70, and yes, that includes Skull and Bones because they still think that Skull and Bones is a AAA title. Because if you say it enough times, it's bound to be true, right? Everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Ask Elon.
Even more.
So,
I understand like the push for like some of the games to go up to 70, like with Sony pushing and Microsoft pushing for those things. But like when you're starting to do that on PC, that's when you're gonna piss off a lot more people.
Yeah.
Now they do want you to do
AAA is
like
going to 70. AAA's got to go to 70. I mean,
they spend a
every
shit ton of
single
money though. It's like devil's advocate on this thing. It's like they spend so much money making these games. It's not even funny.
Right. The games are expensive as it could be forever. I mean, if we looked at like the price increase of movies over the years versus the price increase of games over the years, it's like non-combative. It's just like, well, of course
Yeah.
they should raise their prices because it makes no sense.
Oh,
5 years ago, you
movies-
could go see a movie for $10. Now, good luck seeing one for less than 30. It's just like, okay. And no one bats an eye. Everyone's just like, yeah, 2 hours of entertainment for $15 sounds about right. Oh, you want me to pay $70 for hundreds of hours of entertainment? I don't know about that.
Get out of here.
Or get mad at somebody for dropping, like $100 on a game that they have like hundreds of hours into, like Genshin Impact.
Right,
and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Like
Mhm.
you spending all your money on Genshin while it's still hilarious. It makes sense because
But I
you
don't
have
spend that much money
500
on it though. That's the
you
thing.
have 500 hours into it. So it's just like,
Oh,
your
no, it's more
cost
than
per
that.
hour. Well, yeah, it was 900, right? 'Cause it was
It's
400 on the PS4 and-
it's well over 800 now, almost 900.
So your cost per hour is like nothing.
Nothing.
Like it's just like you almost are getting paid to play this game then at that point.
Pretty
It's
much.
just like you might as well.
I go extended periods of time where I don't spend $1 other than buying the Welkin. And the Welkin is honestly like the best like $5 that you'll spend on that fucking game. If you spend a Welkin a month
If you
just
log
playing
in.
that game, that's $5 a month. That's it. And you get a shit ton of primos just from that. But you get tons. But that's beside the point. We've talked enough about Genshin and the economy within that and stuff like that. Although they are at $3.5 billion in revenue now on that game. It's insane. And second
Not even
anniversary is
halfway
coming up
done.
in a week. No, it's not.
Not even
It's not
halfway
even a quarter done, dude. We're 2 years into this game for a 10
I don't think they'll make
year
it 10
cycle
years.
game.
I don't think they'll make it 10 years. I think they'll ramp stuff pretty quickly.
And
as it
I've
gets on and
constantly
on.
wondered what it's going to look like similar to WoW. Like WoW at the beginning to WoW 10 years later. Like, what is it going to look like? How is it going to evolve over time? Because, I mean, it already looks really good, and it looks way better than a lot of other games that are out there. You add in, like, the cell shading that they have, and they've done a really good job with a lot of the modeling. It's like, what is it going to look like then, and how is that going to change, like, the whole core mechanic of the game? But that's a future conversation set. All right, Breath of the Wild 2 has finally been given a release date, everybody. It's Tears of the Kingdom, and it will be out 5/12/23, which did not coincide with an announcement for the Switch Pro, everybody. So, what this tells me is one
Switch
of two
Pro is
things.
coming.
Well, it tells me two things. One, Switch Pro ain't getting announced anytime soon. Like, they're not going to do another Nintendo Direct within a month and a half. So that's definitely not coming out. But two, this game's not going to run a whole lot better. it already pushed the envelope on the Switch. And the way that I can tell you that yes, it 100% did is that it drastically reduces the battery life on every Switch console. Even the newest versions of them. Like, no matter what, it taxes that processor so much just running it. Original straight up Breath of the Wild. So why did it take them so fucking long if they're not making any major graphical enhancements to this game?
Coding improvements, maybe getting it so that
Maybe.
it doesn't tax it as much and stuff like that. Because yeah, if you can make the load
That's a
times less
possibility.
and like the
Mhm.
everything else good, tighten it up. I mean that does sound like or not Disney. It
That
does
sounds
sound
like Disney,
Nintendo.
though.
To be like it does, but it's like we're not gonna like just improve. We're not gonna like go on to the next best thing. We're just gonna completely improve what we already have, and we're gonna like figure it out to be a little bit better. And the next iteration won't be like groundbreaking, but it'll be much better than what we've released in the past. And then that I could see that. Them
I can
doing
see that. It looks like there's going to be a lot of flying. It looks like there's going to be a lot of Skyward Sword type stuff.
Looks
in there.
too much like Skyward Sword. That was
A
my
lot
first thing. I
like
was just
Skyward Sword.
Nope. Don't
And
care
but the
already.
weird thing is the time gap between Skyward Sword and this, because this is the latest possible fucking game in the timeline. Skyward Sword is the earliest possible game in the timeline. So is this gonna bookend everything? We don't
Perhaps.
So
know.
we just are we predicting Link's death? That's what it sounds like to me.
Maybe.
He's dying. He's dying
It
at the end
also
of-
it
That's
also
the
isn't
tears.
going to have Ganon in it, so it looks like it might
gonna be
actually
cyclical.
go back to the main like form
he
of the
becomes
evil.
Ganon, and it then starts all over again. He
But
becomes
Luke-
Ganon.
But
versus
Link
new
isn't
Link.
isn't Ganon though. Like that's not the thing.
He's gonna lose his hero, Triforce, and he's gonna go for the power one and be like, I gotta do something.
He's gonna
to save
lose the
princess.
courage.
He's gonna
That's
lose
what you're
courage. And he's gonna go the power because he's gonna be like, I'm freaking out. Whatever the problem is, I'm gonna lose it. I gotta go for the power because I gotta get more powerful to take on whatever new enemy this is.
Oh my
And then
god!
he
So you're telling
becomes
me it's
Ganon.
gonna become Berserk?
And then you start all over again.
Everything is a Berserk reference.
Start all over
Everything
again.
is a Berserk reference, no matter what.
Yeah, Link is guts. We're done.
Yep.
No, Link is Griffith.
And that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Link is Griffith.
Link is Griffith. That is it. And there we go. We got Daft throwing Baelitz out in our chat now. But yeah, so that's coming out. We don't know a whole lot other than like a minute's worth of like quick cut gameplay within it. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll have to wait and see more. Let's see here. Next, the GeForce Beyond event is going to be tomorrow. So we're going to hear about our 40 series graphics cards tomorrow, 9/20.
Tomorrow being
9/20.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, 9/20.
There you go.
Yes, I said
Whenever we get
9/20
this loaded
though.
up.
I said the date.
said tomorrow.
But yeah, tomorrow, 9/20.
I hear
But
that.
Tuesday,
I hear that.
9/20. So yes, tomorrow, Tuesday, 9/20. So make sure you keep an eye out for that because you're going to find out all the information that we've probably all read from leaks over the last couple of weeks and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, but it will always be interesting, and I hope that they're going to talk more about data center hardware because they haven't done like a really big press thing for them. They've only done like little bits and pieces of their data center tech, and I want them in this new one, this GeForce Beyond event, to show graphics cards and data center to just give us one giant orgasm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not even mad about it. I would love to hear more about the data center because that's
Oh,
going
I-
to change the world. That'll be the stuff that changes the world. Everyone's going to fight over these 40 series things, and no one's going to. I don't give a fuck. I want the pure data center in a box. Like
We're
the
getting
current gen
real
data center
close
box.
to me just
That's what I
switching to
want.
GeForce Now. Like we're getting real close to it as like just a thing to run video games for it. The biggest thing that holds it back is the fact that it only runs Linux.
I mean, there's still a
Does
lot
GeForce?
to get there.
GeForce Now
Yeah,
runs
right.
Steam OS, which is Linux based.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Because it can run other services too.
But if you're gonna run your Steam library, it's Steam OS. So you have to have games that are Linux based. So which I mean, there's a lot of games that are, but there are games that like are brand new that don't come out Linux like supported.
I mean, you're talking
That's
such a
fine.
small percentage, like
Yeah.
because most everything that's going to
Yeah.
be will be supported, but
Especially with the Steam
Except for
Deck now.
Destiny.
For sure, Steam Deck.
Destiny will not.
Or Fortnite.
Yes, that's how I want to plan my future gaming around an old shitty game. You're right.
No,
You're
it's more about the fact that they went fucking apeshit about people circumventing their stuff to run it on the Steam Deck, and they're like, "Fuck you." Destiny will
know
not,
Fortnite
and that's hilarious.
And Epic said Fortnite won't be on Linux either.
Well,
Just
because they don't give a
saying they
fuck about the Steam
circumvent
Deck. Epic doesn't care about the Steam Deck. They're waiting for some other cloud-based system like Microsoft's to come out, which like that whole Logitech thing that's going to be coming out sometime in the future, powered between them and Tencent and whatnot, running on most likely the Xbox cloud system. Like that's the thing that we really just need is like hardware that's designed to run cloud gaming and run it well.
I mean,
not just a phone.
We've talked about in the past, with us doing this podcast forever about like how the future is ultimately everything's just gonna be your phone, and you'll plug your phone into a dock that'll have all your monitors and shit like that, and it's just like, yeah, it's all cloud, it's all based on whatever, and it's just gonna be running through whatever you need it to be because you don't need to have a giant tower anymore. Like not next year, not in the next 2 years. But that is the eventual thing, is that it's going to be all on your portable device. I mean, will it still be this thing? Probably not even that. Might be even just direct. But there's a whole, like...
Well, that's the
idea of
PlayStation
you
9,
having a
Jason.
tower. That's the PlayStation 9.
The PlayStation 9 is running
closer.
on graphics
Nine?
graphics sports.
We're over halfway there.
We are
So,
over
I mean,
halfway
we're-
there. Oh my god.
that
Oh my-
commercial, man, embedded for
If you
life.
don't know what we're talking about, you should just Google search PlayStation 9, and it was it a PS3 commercial
PS2,
or a
I'm pretty
PS2
sure.
commercial where they showed the future of gaming. The PlayStation 9 is like graphic spores that you inhale and they attach to your cerebral cortex and you play games in your brain. You can't do that now, so play the PlayStation 2 or whatever.
Yeah, they called out nanobots back in...
Yeah.
Full dive.
It is. It's full dive, but without a helmet. It's spores that they had that you would inhale and they would come in. They would go in and they would attach to your brain. Like this. This is a real commercial.
It's the real commercial. They literally showed him inhaling nanobots.
Yeah.
And then jumping off a building. He literally jumped off a building to be like, "It's cool. I'm playing games." Like, it's just like, all right.
Aim for the bushes.
Oh my god.
Oh man,
Yeah,
yeah,
PlayStation 2.
it's
I
great.
just googled it.
It was a
PlayStation 2
PS2.
commercial.
Oh my god, yeah.
Insane.
Oh Jesus
Insane.
Christ. All right. Okay, new Raptor Lake technology for the Raptor Lake processors from Intel will wake your PC as you approach it, detecting disturbances in the force. We mean Wi-Fi. Oh, Jason's NVIDIA broadcast just died on him.
Damn it. I don't know why it hates me so much.
Jason's computer is having all sorts of issues tonight.
I have a shitty USB hub.
You have the
that
exact
if I
same
even,
one
like,
that I
look
have.
at it wrong.
And it does
you
have
know.
issues. It does have
No.
issues.
Mine's like really close to my hand, like so if my cable like runs over it just so recently, it's just like and it's
Oh,
like,
I have mine like
Okay.
adhesed underneath, way far away from my hand, like underneath the riser part of my standing desk, so that I don't even like. It's hard for me to accidentally touch it, but it's really easy for me to just touch it and switch from my laptop to my desktop.
I have a 550-pound solid wood desk. I can't put anything anywhere on this beast.
First world problem. Sucks to be you.
Dude, it is gorgeous though. It is gorgeous.
It is a full on half circle, everybody. It is. I
It is
remember when he
full
got
circle.
this thing.
Oh yeah.
It took 3 to 4 grown men to get it
It's
upstairs because it is
heavy.
a piece of wood. It is
It's
gargantuan.
all solid wood, no MDF, nothing like
Mhm.
that. It is massive. All right, and you got it for dirt cheap, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Basically garage saled it, and I was just like, whoa, what is that? And they're like, it's a desk. And I was just like, give it to me. And I was like, how are you going to get home? And I was like, no idea.
I will find a way.
No,
Life,
they're actually really dope. It's just like, you
finds a
take
way.
this out of our house. They're like, you take this out of our house because we don't know what we're going to do with it. It's like 800 pounds. We'll take it to your house. How far do you live? And I was just like, around the corner. And you're just like, yeah, they actually loaded it up and they got it into the front of my house. And they're like, your problem now.
Fuck you, asshole.
I was like, put up. Oh, yeah, it's been an adventure getting it up in here. That's my baby. It is big.
And it's going to go away as soon as Jason gets a standing desk.
Yeah,
Not
I want
go
the
away.
standing desk just because
It's going to go to the wife.
Yeah, Sarah wants it, which is fine. But yeah, I need to stand just because COVID, like just being home all the time, sitting, like my body's just like, bro, do something. And I was like, nah.
I'll get a Band-Aid for this. Standing desk.
Yeah, I'll get a standing desk.
Jim,
stop gaming?
what Jim?
Do I not have to stop gaming? Yeah, exactly. If I get a standing desk, can I put off stop gaming for at least another 5 years? No, well, I'm gonna do that anyway.
Well, you can we've talked about this, Jason. Just get a bike in there and then just play all console games while you do it, and just bike and play a console game. And then now you're really putting it on hard mode.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I actually at my old house. That's what I had, was like one of those stationary bikes, and I would bike in front of the thing. But all of my like consoles are downstairs. I had the PS4 Pro up here, but you know, I want the
you can remote play the PS5 on the PS4 Pro up there.
It's not the same.
No, it's not the same. It's 100% not the same. So we put the standing desk downstairs, or not the standing desk, the stationary bike downstairs.
Right, and then it becomes a coat rack real fast. Because when I go downstairs, it's just like, all right, I'm gonna play some games. I'll get on the standing desk. Oh, but look at this fucking sexy ass couch. Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna sit on that.
Oh man, that couch will lull you to sleep. It did to me twice this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Trying to watch Evangelion and just like between whiskey and cigars, it's just like. I wake up after the end of the first one. I'm like, let's go have another cigar.
We did pretty good. I feel like we did pretty good.
We did pretty good.
I think we did.
Not
pretty good.
like factoring in the fact that I was dead tired already before I even went to like a 10-year-old birthday party and then went to Jason's house. Like I was already tired, and then for some reason was able to just keep functional throughout the night.
It's the power of hanging out with Jason.
It is the power of hanging out with Jason.
Yeah, we're gonna stay up all night and do dumb shit.
I had so much dog hair all over
Pumpkin
me.
spice lattes.
You know, it's those PSLs, man. And so, I mean, it's like that meme where it's just like, I don't want to go to bed. I want to stay on the internet and look at cool shit. And then it's just like looking at pictures of dogs. That is being at my house personified. Just like, I don't want to go to bed or hang out with Jason, watch him do dumb shit all day. And it's just like a picture of me doing a wizard staff, like whiskey shot. Yeah.
Well, then I woke up, went downstairs, grabbed coffee, sat on the couch. Next thing I knew, it was 11 o'clock. I'm like, I probably need to go home.
Oh yeah, we were just hanging out. I'm just playing Genshin. We're just fucking like, we haven't eaten, we haven't done anything. I just made coffee and we're just hanging out, and I'm just like,
just drink coffee.
What the fuck? What time is it?
It's 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, shit. Probably got to go home. You know, hang out with my family.
Nah.
There's no family. Only Jason.
At that point, I had been at Jason's house for 18 hours.
You're welcome. You are...
It didn't even, like, none of it felt like it. Like, I got there, we hung out, like, Jason was playing video games, like, what are we going to do? I'm like, I don't know. Where are we going to go eat? I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to make any plans. Do I have to get up? Yes. Well, I don't think that that's a good idea. All right.
No, it was good.
It was good. We had fun. All right. Next, Twitch is to remove host mode from all channels in the coming month, which some people don't care. Some people are like up in arms about it. Here's the thing. I don't really care because host mode is a piece of shit system anyways. What does host mode do? It shows your channel or one channel to people that come to your channel when you're not live, when you have no notification or way of getting to that channel other than direct going to that channel, because it doesn't show up like anywhere on the main menu for Twitch. So you have to physically type in the URL and go to twitch.tv/IBIF first in order to get whatever we're hosting at that point. And then if you go into the chat in our channel, you're not actually chatting with anybody because you're chatting with the chat hosting that channel. So you're still in the IBIF first chat. Host mode makes zero sense. Anybody that is up in arms about the loss of host mode just doesn't understand how Twitch works. It doesn't understand how it works in general. Rating is good. Hosting is dumb. That's it.
It's probably just because, like, if you really want to bring someone up with their coattails, and the person you want to bring up with your coattails has just no business streaming, like they're just like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna like comment on stuff, and I have my own flair to that, but I don't like to do anything else at streams. Fine, I can see that, but then what are you fucking doing? Like, then
here's the thing:
what are you doing here?
They're gonna bring it up to just a list of top streamers that you recommend, and if you're streaming at this point, you move to the top of that list. So it's kind of like what you already have anyways with the hosting. However, you get to see, like, if there's 6 people live, it's going to show you all 6 of them instead of just that top person.
I don't know.
So no matter what, it's better. It's better getting rid of host mode completely. I am perfectly fine with the death of host mode.
Yep.
It is A-okay in my opinion.
People owned by Amazon. It'll all be demonetized for us eventually, so don't worry about it. You're not going to be able to do this very much longer.
Yep. All right, Blizzard. Blizzard wants hardcore Diablo grinders to help it test Diablo 4's endgame in the next beta. So they're just gonna be like, hey. All right, so like you guys, you haven't played any of Diablo 4, right? Like, yeah. All right, you want to play the ending? None of the build up, none of what's going on, and the hope is that they make the battle the same, but then they change the characters up for it so that it's not just like this huge fucking like immediate spoiler for anybody that's doing it. That is the hope, but they haven't said that.
No, I mean, they said end game, not the end of the game. Yes. And Diablo's thing about end game is the repeated going through jazz. So what this tells me is that they're just going to give everyone max level characters with like random missions throughout the entire eco structure that they could build whatever the fuck
that's
they want,
the hope,
not story wise.
Yeah, that's the hope, is that they're not showing any story. Yeah.
That's what it would be. And at the end of the day, if you're so big on Diablo that you're like, I just want to like whatever, then you're gonna get your spoilers and you don't give a shit. Like, because like the real Diablo people, the people that are just like, I want to play Diablo, they don't give a fuck about the story. They don't. They're just like, I want to get to that end game and I just want to grind my shit and find my loot. That's what the core, honestly, core Diablo fan base is. I love Diablo. We've had this conversation before. I was one of the assholes that still just like, I'm going to play Diablo 2, even though I hate this company very much, but I'm just going to play it because at the end of the day, I want to play some games. And so, because I want that nostalgia, I will probably still be going out for Diablo 4. And I'm one of those people that's just like, I like the story. I'm going to do that. But once I get to endgame, that's when I usually stop. So to me, this is them being like, hey, we want to like find the core people that are just like going to grind to min-max everything constantly. And that's completely different to me. And that's fine. That makes sense. Balance. It's all balance, and that's fine. Do it.
And that's the hope is that
as long as you keep your promise that all microtransactions are just cosmetic, then you will see. Now, what they're gonna do though is like, yeah, all microtransactions are just cosmetic, but you can buy these crystals that'll like do things sometimes. Maybe give you better odds on your like loot drops, jazz like that. They'll find ways. They'll
find a way that's still like not doing it.
Greed always finds a way.
Life finds a way. Second time I've said that in this podcast. All right. Noise cancellation has finally come to the Xbox. So you can, when you're doing chat, you can actually get noise cancellation. Is it powered by Discord? I didn't really read about this a whole lot, Chris. You were the one who put this in there.
I didn't see anything that said it was, but I would hope it probably is. I would think it is, but it didn't.
And xCloud will let you join games from friends' clips?
Yeah, so if you post up like a video clip and you go on like your browser or whatever, and on your phone or your computer or tablet, whatever, and like, oh hey, here's a little clip. Oh, cool. I can now like launch this game. I can join it or to launch it. Kind of like how they kind of like the whole Stadia kind of thing was, where you can launch games from YouTube, stuff like that.
But like
So I
live
think it's kind of like
clips.
that.
Yeah, it's like live gameplay and whatnot, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and I think maybe if you just launch a game too, if it's not a live clip, I think.
Oh, like if
So-
you're watching the clip, then you could click it and launch the game and be like, oh, cool, like
Yep.
go through there. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of very niche, but it's definitely not
Yeah.
anything that I'm going to partake in.
Yeah, it's Microsoft. That's Microsoft.
Yep. All right, Chris, I know that you were super excited about this one, so why don't you read the second to the last one that shows up on this list right here?
Okay. So, building, as we kind of get down in like semiconductors and smaller sizes, it kind of reaches the point with silicon that kind of has some trouble. So they knew some researchers, and they modified a household microwave oven and actually overcame that 2 nanometer hurdle. So now they can actually kind of work on get some production. I think this was sponsored by TSMC. So it's kind of university, and I think on the East Coast I was kind of working on this.
So did they overcome a 2 nanometer hurdle, or did they overcome a hurdle to get to 2 nanometer?
I think it's to get to 2 nanometers.
Okay, that's what I thought. So
kinda gets smaller,
it was
yeah.
more like a 2.5 or 3 nanometer hurdle to get to 2
Yeah.
nanometer, right? Okay, that's what I thought I read, and then I
At a
was reading
certain
this, I'm
point,
like,
you
wait,
just gotta
did they go
cram so
beyond
much
2
stuff into
nanometer?
it.
Well, because like when I read it this way, I'm
like-
like, wait, they went beyond 2 nanometer. They're now smaller than 2 nanometer, which is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've talked about this before of like silicone with its heat dissipation and whatnot. Like it can only get, and the amount of electricity that it can output. They've now started working with like carbon nanotubes and shit like that in order to boost the speeds of things. But
Yeah.
those things are still way far in the future still.
Yep.
So
This is more
that-
kind of short term kind of stuff, figuring out how to use microwaves to condense all that stuff so it can actually work as they pump all that shit in.
which is interesting. I'm not gonna
Yep.
lie, that's really interesting. All right, next, GoldenEye is coming to Game Pass. They will have local co-op only. Online gameplay will still be on the Switch only. So it's coming to Game Pass and the Nintendo Switch. For some reason, the Game Pass version is going to have 4K and enhanced graphics in comparison to the Nintendo Switch version, though.
Yeah.
So you get to play the old
Maybe-
school GoldenEye.
Maybe because of makes no sense, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
It doesn't
I
make a
mean,
whole lot of sense.
first
you're
person-
right.
I don't know the sense of why one only has online, no one doesn't. But I kind of get why
Because it's
coming
Nintendo's
to-
game. They want it. They want to have the
Yeah.
online
Yeah.
capability on the Switch. I mean that
Wanna play on-
that
you wanna
part
play-
makes
you wanna
sense.
play
That's
the-
actually the part that makes the most sense.
The reason why it's come to Xbox is because
person
it's a Rare
multi-
game, and Microsoft
Yes.
owns Rare.
Right.
Yeah, and they
But I mean,
probably
like, no,
came
of course
back to
they're gonna
him
be
and
like,
yeah, they probably came back to him and were like, hey, we want this game, like, we want to make it, and they're like, all right, well, you got to let us release it on Xbox.
I mean, because without this game, there wouldn't be any first-person shooters as we know it. Like
Yeah.
it would just be like Halo, everything you can attribute to this, any kind of play style. It blew up honestly with GoldenEye. Like obviously you can be like, oh no, there's Doom, there was all this stuff, there was Hex.
Yeah, there was Doom. There was
Quake,
the
you know,
very
just,
first
like,
main one, which was Castle
The
Wolfenstein
idea,
and
the
Spirit
idea
Destiny.
of the split screen first-person shooter
Yep.
just wasn't done. And
Yep.
it was because of this one that it really took off and really brought people into it. Because like Quake, for example, was just like, oh, because I remember having this argument like 94 or whatever, being like, yeah, Quake's fun and all, but I mean, like, how many friends do you know that play Quake?
I played Quake.
None. Well, no,
That's
but at
weird.
the time, because at the time you had to know them. You couldn't just be like, oh, fine, whatever, and you had to be all on
Yeah.
LAN and all just like that. It's just like it was way harder. But I mean, you could be like, how many friends do you know that play GoldenEye? And everyone would be like, well, I got like at
Fucking
least like 5
everybody.
friends that play Golden. Yeah, everyone's playing GoldenEye. So, yeah.
100%. I played Quake on PC, and I had friends that did. I'm also slightly older than Jason and Chris, a lot older than
Mhm.
Chris. But I primarily played Quake because of the one main selling point when it came out, and that was that the entire soundtrack was done by Nine Inch Nails.
That's right.
This is the
totally
late
forgot
'90s.
about
It's
that.
'96, man. I'm like,
That's
oh
right.
fuck yes, I'm gonna play a game that the entire soundtrack is done by Nine Inch Nails. Oh hell yeah! So much so
And I
that
don't
that's
think
the
it's
whole
much-
reason for the nail gun was Nine Inch Nails. Because of that.
Right. And I don't think it's much to do with age, Eric. It's just like that my group at the time, I was the nerd of the bunch of cool people. Like everyone I hung out with played sports and all stuff like that, and I was the one fixing all their computers and shit. And so I was just like, you don't want to play Quake? And there was like, no, nerd, but hang out with us. And I was like, all right.
Well, but that's the same thing as far as like the age too, because one, I was a little bit older, so I had more friends that were like that. So that's where the age comes into it for it, because there's also different things that people are into at certain points. Yeah, there's certain things, but at the same point, these are the same group of people that I 100% legit had Warhammer 40K armies with. That
Right,
we did
exactly.
tabletop and like we were all in band together, like 100% giant fucking nerds. All right, okay, we're down to the last 3 that we have on here. I love that. I think it was Jason that put this in, and it just literally says Modern Warfare 2.
Now I was just like, people are talking about it. I don't give a shit.
Why?
Well, okay. So the thing that I read like offhand that I just kind of wanted to just talk about was that supposedly the remake or whatever the re-release they're doing, I don't even know what it's called anymore. Will have,
Remaster? I don't know.
yeah, it will have
Mhm.
localized chat, and I can't imagine a more horrible, toxic experience than localized chat in a war.
Wait, what
Modern
does
Warfare.
localized chat mean?
Meaning, so like if you're in a lobby or if you're somewhere like in the map and stuff like that, if you're standing near someone and they're talking, you'll hear them.
Oh,
If you're not
dear
standing
God.
near someone,
Mm.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Now,
Oh.
speaking of Quake,
It's
back
got
in the day,
prox
you
chat.
could do that.
You mean it's got
Got prox
prox
chat.
chat?
Mhm.
Oh my God.
Well, they're calling it localized chat, but yeah.
Oh my God. That could be simultaneously amazing and horrible all at the same time.
Yeah. I mean,
Like-
I just can't wait to hear all the babies screaming, all of the random people doing dishes, and why are you playing games in your kitchen? And you know,
How are you
multiple
playing
families
games
having
while you're
discussions.
doing your dishes? This doesn't make
exactly,
any sense.
Exactly. Oh man, some of these like stuff that you like, because I join random stuff all the time. Like in hand of God, I played Modern Warfare a whole bunch. World at War, I played a lot. And then God, what was the most recent one that I just recently stopped? Their battle royale one. Holy shit, I can't even remember the name of it.
Oh, Warzone.
Warzone, thank you. I played a crap ton of Warzone, like a lot of it, and I would join random people all the time. And it's just like, all right, I'm gonna join up with you, and we'd talk like for 5 seconds, and then the stuff I would hear, I would be like, "Do you need to go, man?" Like, nah. Like they would be like, "Why are you asking me? This is totally normal. What's going on?" I'm just like, well, then can you like mute yourself? Because I'm tired of hearing 2 people yelling at each other on your chat. Like, what are you doing? That you're just like, I assume it's like 3 a.m. on a Tuesday that you're probably an adult and you don't sound like me, so I don't think that you're a child. But why are there just 2 people screaming at each other and you're just sitting there like, fuck it, gotta be on Warzone? Like, it's just like, what is going on in your
I just
life?
picture that all
don't
these people that
understand.
Jason is playing with are people that are literally out there trolling, and they've just got a loop of domestic disturbance like arguments
worse,
running
though?
on their
Like, that'd
phone,
be
and it's
worse.
just sitting here like this next to their mic. They
That
just
sounds
got it
horrible.
running.
That sounds like a horrible gaming experience to me. Like, and some people like it's just like full on conversation is going on, and then you hear the guy like yell out. He's like, "Oh fuck, that motherfucker got me!" And then you hear like someone being like, "Hey, don't forget to pick up grandma on the way home from school." It's just like, dude, what are you screaming this stuff out for? I assume if I can hear them talking about whatever, that they probably hear you screaming like whatever. I don't know. Prox chat is going to be a mess. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
Or
giant
localized
mess.
chat.
Well,
Yeah.
and the best thing about that though is that it's suddenly silent, and it's gonna be it's gonna be like some of the best parts about like Prox Chat playing Among Us. It's where it's silent and you don't hear anything, and then all of a sudden you hear, I fucked him up. It's just a knife in the back and then run off.
But it's gonna be constantly that. It's gonna be constantly that. Whatever.
But that part will make for great like watching. I want to be able to just like hop in and spectate any game possible, because at that point I'll just sit there and keep hopping around people and waiting for that one guy and be like, okay, it's this guy. He's the one. And then I hop over to all the other people and I just wait for him to run in and be like, I'm gonna teabag your ass. And then that's death, and that's it. And you just get the Doppler effect. It'll be great. All right, second to last, U.S. proposed Chip 4 alliance faces opposition from partners, in which case everybody else likes the U.S. well enough. However, the way that I'm really reading this is other countries are extremely, I don't want to say racist, but biased against other countries out there. Yeah. Mainly a bunch of Asian countries. So the way that this reads is Korea, Japan, and Taiwan all like the U.S. well enough and work well with U.S. partners, but don't want to share trade secrets with U.S. companies like Intel and Micron. Samsung in Korea doesn't want to share with TSMC because they're in Taiwan, and Korea doesn't like Japan. And then everyone's concerned about China. I love the write-up, Chris. It's great. Yeah.
Which is like, because I saw that article, I shared it, I read the first paragraph, I'm like, that's what I got, and like, that's all I really need from this article, because that's really what's going on.
That's it. It's a lot of possible racism, just concerns, like governmental concerns, really. It's probably, it ends up being like governmental concerns, but it's still, especially in Asia, there's a lot of racism that happens between different countries. That, like, the fact that so many of them just don't like each other because of past differences, and then they continue on like those things today, is actually like the biggest definitions. Oh, I don't want to say that. Never mind. We're not gonna get deep into that. But it is a big problem still, especially in Asian culture, and that's where we have a lot of problems stemming with this. And I didn't even foresee this coming, like, when I was reading the bill. Like, I didn't even think about that. But now that makes a whole lot of sense within it. Like, the biggest thing was it seemed like everyone was going to be ganging up and like, we're not going to share with China. And yay. But then they're still like, yeah, we still don't want to share with these people, though.
Yeah.
Like, we don't like them. We still don't like them, though.
Well, it cracks me up if you like, because kind of hit the nail on this, and I'll go political a little bit here, just to be like, anywhere else, like common racism, just like it's because I'm being racist. It's just like it blows my mind. It blows my mind on how everywhere else is, especially Japan, China, Korea. Like they're very racist. It's just like everyone's just like it's just who they are. It's just like that's not okay. It's still not okay. Whatever. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain things like if you go to the UK and you mistake someone for British when they're Irish or Scottish, like they're gonna fucking kill you. Not like actually kill you, but you're gonna get a fucking earful. And that's
first of all,
if
you hear a Scottish person talking, be like, "Oh, where are you from? Wales?" Yeah, you fucking deserve that punch in the face.
But I mean, like, if you sit there and you come to America,
oh, you're from Alabama. You guys sound like you're from New York.
and you say like that I sound like I'm from Texas. I just look at you and be like, do you know what a Texas soundtrack or accent sounds like? Like you don't, because y'all don't know what it's like. It's like there's a very
version PC my jiggers, and I love it.
Or like Wisconsin, with a hilarious side story on this. There was this joke, like I was talking with one of my coworkers and she was talking about Harry Styles because she's like 25, she's young, and she was talking about how Harry Styles like has a Green Bay Packers emblem tattooed on his arm, and he's like a huge Packers fan, and she doesn't understand why. And I was like, well, haven't you ever seen the movie Love Actually? She's like, well, I have. I'm like, yeah. Like, it all stems from that, Wisconsin. Like, they think that Wisconsin is, like, the greatest American place to go. She's like, what? And I pulled up this, like, super clip of the section from Love Actually where the one British guy spends half the movie talking about how he's going to move to the States and move to Wisconsin. And he ends up going there, and all the chicks find him attractive because of his accent. But as I'm watching the clips, I sit there and I'm like, yeah, their accents aren't thick enough. None of these chicks, and it's Alicia Cuthbert and a bunch of like really attractive girls that I'm like, none of them have Wisconsin accents at all. Like, so one, this is not super believable, but it was just a hilarious. Like, it's just funny that I was able to bring that up in a conversation that I literally had like 5 hours ago at work. But that's beside the point. Okay. Anyways, we're going to skip over that. All right. It's now time to talk about the elephant in the room. The big elephant in the room that this was Friday, right? Yeah, it was Friday that this hit the news wire. And that is the EVGA has canceled their partnership with NVIDIA, and they are leaving the GPU business entirely.
Just 80% of the revenue.
Yes. They have not said what they're going to do, like how this is going to impact their production, how this is going to impact their workforce, anything like that. I know that if I was working at EVGA, I'd probably be shitting my pants right now.
I mean,
given that.
The CEO did say he's going to take care of everyone. He's not going to lay anyone off, but there's also going to be attrition.
That's right
and
now.
There's got to be something.
That's right now. They're like, you can't speak to that 3 months from now.
No.
Like, that is like, so the immediate plan is not to lay people off.
There's definitely going to be attrition. There's definitely going to be something, but at least he's trying to at least take care of it and honor, warranty, stuff like that. They're going to hold back some 30 series stock just to.
Well, and the weird thing is
replacements.
So if you read their press release, and I was like, I saw that the EVGA Twitch channel was going live. I'm like, oh, let's see what's gonna happen with this. And they talked about it in the room, and it was funny because they joked about a couple of things. They're like, no other big news happened today, right? Nothing? Yeah, nothing at all like that. And then they talked about it, and all that they literally did was read the press release that's on the website, and that's it. They didn't talk about anything else. But the press release specifically states that they will not be producing next-gen video cards, which is a little strange.
I mean, I think they've pretty much already produced what they're going to produce for 30 series at this point, because they probably
one would think that, but it's like the way that they worded that was the weirdest part about it, is that it didn't seem like they were stopping the 30 series.
So you think that it's just like, we're not going to make any more 30s and we're not going to make 40, but motherfuckers, we're going to be around for 50 or something? No,
they're still making 30s and they're not going to make 40s.
Well, they're right. They're not going to make next gen, but we'll make next gen.
Maybe, but they're not making. I heard but they're going to continue making.
From watching the Gamer Nexus video where they actually met with the CEO of EVGA, it's like, no, we're not doing 50 series either.
We're not doing anything moving forward.
We're not doing anything.
Yeah, but it was the way that they worded it that I was like, well, why would they word it that way? Like, are they still going to be making 30 series graphics cards, which they could theoretically still be making them in order to fulfill replacements for people as deemed necessary? So that could be what they're saying, is that, like, they're not halting complete production on the 30 series just so that they can have those around for warranty replacements, because that's the last thing they want is to have to pay money out for these, because they can't replace the actual card itself. But yeah, they are done making graphics cards. They have said that they are not going to pursue contracts with AMD nor Intel. And they cited, like, it was real weird, like, why they were citing. They were basically saying that they were treated unfairly by NVIDIA.
This screams to me, because you're right. This is the weirdest part to me, is that they're just like, it's just because we're being treated like shit and we don't want to be a part of this company anymore. This screams to me of somebody fucking around and finding out.
Oh, yeah.
where they're just like,
Mhm.
I don't like that. And we're just like, well, fucking do something. Like, what are you gonna do about it, bitch? Like, you're stuck with us forever if you want to make money. And it's
Mhm.
like, you know what?
Fuck
you.
you.
I'm not gonna do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And-
Whatever that could
And I
be.
mean, Nvidia's kind of been going around this thing of, doing their founders edition cards, and then also not telling their board partners crucial info until it's released to the public.
Trying to keep
So, like,
things
they're on
close to the
stage of, like,
vest.
Hey,
and they'll say,
cost.
yeah, they just say like,
And stuff like
well, we have to keep things close to the vest in order to, like, keep things from getting leaked out and whatnot, because we can't trust your guys's, groups, which is pretty true.
Fair.
It's pretty true.
Yeah, which is a fair criticism.
But not telling them costs. I think the big things are, and it's probably something that we're going to find out tomorrow, is MSRP versus cost for the 40 series cards. And how much it's going to cost for them to purchase these chips from NVIDIA, and then what they're going to need to sell the graphics cards at. And as we've seen now, because the other thing that happens with this, or that this really coincides with, is the Ethereum merger making Bitcoin mining completely non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is gone now. Bitcoin mining is gone. A huge portion of what was causing the boom for graphics cards during COVID, because it wasn't COVID per se. Like, the biggest issue was that people were trying to get these cards and Ethereum mining was happening at the same time. If there wasn't Bitcoin for it, pushing all of that, people would have been able to get these cards, like, easily. Hands down. And there wouldn't have been that secondary market, the whole 9 yards. And it also probably ended up coming to, like, issues that NVIDIA was just like, we really don't give a fuck if there's a secondary market or anything like that. People reselling your cards and making a shit ton of money off of buying it at MSRP for you and making double what they paid for it on the resellers market. Like, we don't really care. And that could have been part of it as well.
I read a new article today, too, going through some of the EVGA stuff, is where, I mean, the markup on these video cards is not huge.
It's very low
Where
now.
EVGA is also, they don't actually manufacture the cards. They outsource that stuff. They do the design work, stuff like that. Outsource that. So their margin is even less than, say, like maybe like an MSI or something like that builds their own cards. And then also through the Game Nexus video, I've kind of talked to them, kind of dug a little deeper, like, okay, well, what's the real reason here behind it? And one of the things is the CEO of EVGA, he's 60, he wants to kind of spend some more time with his family, and kind of dealing with NVIDIA and all this video card business takes a lot of time. He's like, it's not really worth the effort of what we're getting for it versus me trying to spend some time with family. So there's maybe a little bit of that coming into. I mean, it's not going to be like everything, but it's definitely probably a factor.
So that portion right there is ridiculously stupid in my opinion.
Yeah.
Why would
you got a
you-
problem with that and you want to spend more time, then delegate it out. And if you don't have
Right.
if you don't have faith in your employees to be able to do this yourself, then why do you have them as employees? And I personally
You're not losing 80% of your market revenue because Timmy needs a father to play catch with. No, I'm sorry.
But, like, I've dealt with this personally myself in previous things. Like, I had a point where something started going sideways and I had to bring it to the CEO and explain to him, and he's like, I'm gonna jump in. I'm like, no. And, like, let me do it. And he's like, no, I'm gonna jump in. Like, this is my problem. Let me fix it. And if you're an overbearing CEO that can't handle letting people fix it, and you think that you have to solve everything, then that's a you problem at that point. And you really need to you probably really should step aside a little bit more and let other people handle it. Because if you don't trust your employees, why the fuck do you pay them?
Yep. And another note too is EVGA is pretty much just Europe and the US.
Yeah.
Versus some of these other companies that are worldwide. So EVGA, stocking up on these cards, which they got kind of bit with the 20 series as well. At the end of the lifestyle is they have all the stock, and now they have to take a loss on it.
Yep. Because the
they're
MSRP
not-
goes down on them. And that's the
Yep.
biggest issue with any of the tech stuff. It's the same thing with computers. It's always been that way for years. Come out with back in the day when Jason and I worked at CompUSA, we would sit there and like trying to explain to a customer why this newer version of it is $150 cheaper than the old version, and the newer version is faster and better and whatnot, and like trying to get them to buy that older version at that higher price point. I'm like, that's real fucking hard to do. And that's all because people don't want to take a bath on things, and they're not going to get money back. They bought too many things within it.
Yep.
And that's a big problem. And who knows, they were probably there could have been many things. They were probably trying to be like, hey, we want to get volume pricing but at lower like incremental amounts. Like, give us volume pricing if we guarantee we're going to buy this much over 2 years instead of like us having to buy these processors. But again, the loss of Ethereum mining now is a huge blow, because that's a lot of people that would be buying video cards.
Yeah,
And like, I got a
eBay's
3060, so I don't
flooded
need to
with
buy
them.
a video card now. Why would I buy a 40 series? Right? Like, we're all just like, we all have 30 series now. It's like, why do we need to buy a 40 series? It plays perfectly fine. Especially, like, you can play any game if you're not playing 4K. Especially streaming. I'm not going to talk bad about anybody that plays at 4K and records and then they output onto YouTube 4K. I'm like, that's perfectly fine. But realistically, if you're streaming on Twitch and whatnot, or just streaming in general, people can't always watch your shit at 4K. There's no point in putting it at 4K.
Yeah.
Like, you want to do it, and that's your prerogative. Like, go for it. That's fine. But to be honest, it's a waste of fucking money. And it's a waste of resources at that point to make sure that you're getting 4K. But, you know, that's beside the point. But yeah, it's definitely it's a weird thing to see someone just drop out. No, they're still making motherboards though, and power supplies. So
Power supplies,
the company's not going away at
I
all.
think
And the power
supplies
supplies are
are where they
good.
Yeah, I think that's where their bulk of their money is, outside of GPUs.
Yeah.
They also, I think, make like 300% more markup on PSUs than they do off of GPUs.
Oh, yeah. We've laughed about this with like the genuine Japanese capacitors that you bought on a power supply, you know, like 6 years ago and whatnot. It's like, God, we joked about that on a podcast.
100% Japanese capacitors.
We joked
so
about
old.
that on a podcast. That's how long we've been doing it. But it's like, yeah, genuine Japanese capacitors and whatnot, and like that's a thing. And you know, power supplies are still like, they don't cost that much to make. Let's be honest here. And there's not major changes. Like, when they do that, you get a bigger power supply. It's just larger capacitors. Like, if you crack them open, there's nothing crazy going on in there. It's just big ass tubes. Tell me I'm wrong.
Capacitors are expensive, just to be fair.
Well, capacitors
Like,
are
they
expensive, but
very-
if you build them and buy them in bulk and whatnot, like, you can do it. But like, they don't cost nearly as much as they charge for these power supplies.
No.
No, not at all. And I am not like faulting them at all within this. Like, you can charge whatever you want for your power supply, because there is still R&D and engineering and everything like that has to go into it, and the manufacturing costs and blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying that there's nothing crazy about power supplies. Now, if you start giving me like major technological enhancements to a power supply, and like you give me a 2,000 watt power supply that's like 2 inches thick, then I'll be like, damn. There we go.
Number one, you solved the energy crisis of this planet, and number two, my
Yeah.
PC can be a lot smaller. I love it.
Yeah, and it's like that's where I would really like little twinkle in the eye and whatnot. Like, this is amazing. Like, this is a big thing. Now it's just like, all right, well, we got this power supply, and we're like, all right, we got to fit it in this giant box and keep it cool.
Yeah, we have
And
this
then
much
that's when
room
they're
to
like,
deal with. Yeah.
they're like, I've got to fit like one more piece in. And then
Just
it's
one
like,
more,
okay.
one more capacitor, boss. One more.
Yeah.
One more.
Now, granted, yes, it's like, that's the thing.
We're
But
gonna ramp up the fan like another 100 RPM.
but yeah, so that it's big. I don't know if we're going to hear any additional fallout from this, to be honest. Like,
No.
I don't see
Yeah.
anybody else dropping out because all the other ones are all worldwide, like
Yep.
Chris said. And
They're all just gonna be like, "Hey, we'll take your allotment."
yeah, we're gonna take that additional amount and call it a day. It's perfectly
Just
fine,
make more
and
cards.
it's nothing but good for them because they were already envisioning a drop in retail sales and whatnot because of Ethereum mining, and now they're gonna have less of that because of the loss of a competitor. No one's gonna care, sadly. I mean, we care.
No, I don't
And-
care either.
We're sorry.
And
you
there's
care,
another
GA.
thing too about the article too was about EVGA's like customer service of like extended warranties and the trade up program kind of stuff like that. And like another like a source on there compares like, yeah, that's expensive. Like it's hard to make money doing that kind of stuff. So like if we could, we would have done that too a long time ago. But
Oh no! Here's the
So,
thing: is every
good for
company
customer service.
can do that. They just look at it
They
and they're
just-
like, we'd rather fuck people than lose that revenue.
yep, or EVGA's like customer service, but we're also not making a lot of revenue. It's hard to deal with NVIDIA. So for that reason, we're out.
And I'm fine with them doing that. That's their decision to do. And if they really want to just hop out because of that, that's perfectly fine. And especially if they're looking at like, we want to maintain our level of customer service without like fucking people over. Because a lot of
we just
companies,
don't
that's
have-
not the
don't have the
decision
margin
they'll
on that.
make. They'll just sit there and be like, yeah, fuck it. Customer service
Money.
goes down. Money.
Money.
Yep.
The margin's not
Money,
there,
please.
and the headache's not worth it.
Ding 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 ding.
So, all right, that's the news, everybody. It went really
did it.
long. We talked longer in some sections than I
Did a
thought we
few-
were going
did
to.
We did a few good tangents.
Oh, we had
Nothing-
some good
Nothing
tangents,
crazier.
but yeah, it was good. All right, who wants to go first?
I can go first because I played fuck all.
He played he played Destiny. He played Genshin.
Genshin.
I played Destiny.
I got caught up on Genshin. I'm now back to like where it's the normal stuff that I'm in. I'm all caught up from my almost a year hiatus. I stopped right like at the end, towards the end of maybe 6 months.
Yeah, I was gonna
towards
say
the
it was
end
only
of-
like a 6-month hiatus. It wasn't that.
yeah, because
long.
it was towards the end of Inazuma. So I got through all of the rest of Inazuma, the chasm and whatnot, and into Sumera and all that jazz like that. So yeah, I'm all caught up again. So now it's again like being like, meh, trying to min-max my mistake of Shenhe, and it's okay. I'll survive somehow, and I'm saving up a bunch of stuff to see what I can get in the next drops. But otherwise, I didn't really play much of anything else. I'm kind of honestly in a gaming lull, where it's just like I've installed a bunch of stuff from Game Pass, and I've installed a bunch of stuff from the PlayStation Plus Pass, whatever you want to call it.
And you're
And
just
I have
like,
a bunch of games. I have a bunch of great games. I'm just like, I don't know if I
Yeah.
want to do
Yeah.
that. I don't know if I want to
Yeah.
do that. I'm not feeling it right now. So I'm in a little bit of a lull right now. So hopefully maybe I'll stream this Thursday to like kind of get myself into doing something again. I don't know, whenever I have time. And we'll see. We'll see what I can come up with, because I need to do something.
definitely need something. I got a game that
Mhm.
you can play, Jason, that we got a review copy for that I'm probably gonna stream
No, I
on
don't wanna do it.
Wednesday.
I don't want to do it.
You want to do it? You know you
don't
want to
wanna
do
do
it.
it.
Jason
I don't
wants to
wanna
play
do it.
Construction Simulator.
I don't. I
Yeah,
don't.
you do. it's got online co-op, so all of you can get together in your giant construction machines, and build a
Fantasies.
building,
Mhm.
and do all
Your
yeah,
construction fantasies.
do all your construction.
Oh my god,
fantasies.
this
Dig
fucking
a bunch of
thing.
dicks.
I think Jason's about ready to unhook his USB
I'm gonna
switch.
I'm gonna burn this
Mm-hmm.
switch like very soon. It is making me mad.
Not to be confused with a Nintendo Switch, not to be confused with a network switch. It's a USB switch.
Good old Amazon, cheapest quality that I can buy.
To be
Yeah,
honest, I
fucking
don't think that
order.
any USB switch is actually really good. Like
They
you
never
can
are.
spend
No.
$20, I think was what I spent on this one, or $100, and you're still gonna have issues with it. But yeah. So, okay, well, I guess I'll go next then because I do have a game that I am going to be playing this week, and that is Construction Simulator, where you get to use giant machinery and build a building, and I hope that it's good. Well, we'll wait and see. Tune in on Wednesday to find that out. I did play Genshin, a lot of Genshin. I have finished I'm like halfway done with the main story. I finished all the Aranara story and whatnot, which is hilarious because I finished most of the Aranara story before I even started on like the actual like verbal dialogue story that goes through and anything. But I've already like maxed out my battle pass a week early and so on and so forth. So there's not a whole lot for me to do on Genshin this week while we wait for 3.1 and the 2-year anniversary to drop with new characters and so on and so forth. I don't know who or if I'm gonna go for anybody though. To be honest, I'm mildly waiting for Scaramouche because I want to see, like, they still haven't shown anything with Scaramouche when he comes out of like what he's gonna be, and I'm just like, I want to know what he's got because he's the one that's been collecting all the Gnosis so far. And when you fought him in Inazuma, he had the Electro Archon Gnosis. So like I'm really interested to see what it is that character is going to be because that is the rumors that he's going to become a playable character. Which then the other question is like, is he going to be a friend? Who knows?
I just want his hat.
Yeah, the big hat. Like that's, I want that giant ass hat that he has too. That's true.
100%.
I also played Destiny 2 with their new space pirates thing. To be honest, I'm not impressed with this season. Just like I wasn't impressed with last season. It's for it. I'm kind of just meh within the area. I don't really have any real need to grind anything out or want to grind anything out. The story, in my opinion, sucks. I don't like it. It's not engaging at all. People are like all engrossed and they're like sky or space pirates, and I'm like, yeah. It's dumb in my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's really making me question whether or not I am actually gonna buy Lightfall, which is the next major expansion, which is supposedly going to be the end of Destiny 2, but I don't know based off of that. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see if I'm actually ever going to do anything within that. Oh God, there was something else that I played too. Just like Jason though. Just like Jason, I've downloaded and installed like a shit ton of stuff, but I haven't actually played any of them. But one of the ones that I did was Ghost of Tsushima. And I started playing it on Kurosawa mode. And I tried switching it off of Kurosawa mode, and I didn't like it after I started on that. I'm like, nope, Kurosawa mode's going back on. I did switch the dialogue over to English, though, because I just got... At one point, it was like 10:30 at night, and I'm like, I'm just done reading. I want to have spoken dialogue to me. So I switched it over to English, but I kept it on Kurosawa mode. I'm going to be 100% honest. Like, that game's a pretty game, and having all the colors on and everything like that is very pretty. But it's so much better in just straight up monochromatic black and white.
It's better in both. Like, that's such a gorgeous game. Like, that's a game though you do have to pay attention to because it's just so good. There's just so much good stuff about it that, because I like. There's few games I play multiple times, and that's one of them. So
and that
it's
game,
so good.
I 100%. I feel bad for anybody that was watching me play that game on Thursday night because my ADD was in full effect that night, and I could not pay attention to anything. I was all over the place. I was multitasking that, chat, paper clips, and like a whole bunch of shit at the same time. Like, I just could not focus on anything that night. My brain was just fried. But Tsushima, though, combat, great. graphics great. It runs so fucking great on the PS5. I'm not gonna lie. No load screens really, like what they were having with before. Like load screens are gone. It's just that game's so.
Yep. Awesome.
It's such a good game. But I honestly think that it looks better in black and white than it does in all the colors. Like there's just something about it, and I think that it's just going like, if I started it in full color, and then switched to Kurosawa, maybe then I would be like, I want to go back to full color. But I started it in Kurosawa because they like give you like this whole setup thing at the beginning, and I was like, fuck it, we'll go Kurosawa mode. That's what chat wanted and whatnot, and we did Kurosawa. And then when I tried switching it back, I'm like, it's too bright. Things are all over the place. I don't like this at all. I'm like, let's go back to black and white. So, but great game. I as much as I couldn't pay attention to it, I was enjoying it because combat's really good. Like snaking around isn't always my forte. Like stealth missions aren't always my forte, which is going to be a problem with Tsushima for me, but it's still a great
Doesn't have to be. You can play that game full on, run in.
Oh yeah, early on though, like they're very much like you need to stealth in. You get spotted a lot and it just stops and you're just like fuck. That's one of the things that I hate about stealth things is like maybe I just want to go in and fuck things up. Maybe fuck
early
your
on,
stealth
it's like
mission.
that just because for the storyline. But
the
later
story
on,
requires you to do it.
Ghost.
Which I'm gonna say one thing that pissed me off is how fast he just threw away his samurai convictions. Like
you just watched everyone you know and love be murdered brutally in front of you.
Yeah, but
it's
even
like,
then,
and you were left for dead. And you just got Kublai Kai just beat the shit out of you, depending on where you're at. So it's just like, I can't do this the way that I've known my entire life.
I'm saying though, like he throws a big.
My conviction is to get the revenge. Now, what you just said is the entire theme to the game, Eric. That's why you have to beat the game, because at the end you have to make a choice, and it's very much, are you samurai or not? And it's up to you.
Yeah, and him becoming in essence becoming a ninja at that point and doing like stealth and like going against his code. I'm just like, and this is early on in the game. Like he throws this big fucking stink, like a huge stink about not going against his code, and then 10 minutes later, immediately you learn how to assassinate people, and you're just going around assassinating willy-nilly. And I was not happy about that.
You have to remember, the person that showed you how to assassinate people is a hot ass bitch.
I mean,
very fair point.
People have done worse things for pussy.
Exactly. It's just like, oh, hold up. This lifestyle can, make stuff happen. Yeah. I'm going to listen for a little bit. So tell me more about this multi-level marketing scheme that you're in right now. That sounds very interesting.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a really, really good business opportunity.
Cool. That sounds really cool. We should get dinner and talk about it some more. Yeah.
But yeah, so other than that though, it's fucking amazing.
Oh, totally not.
And I hope that like what you're right. It's like you get to the end and you have to make that choice of like, do you go back to your ways or do you stay a heathen?
Much.
But I do wonder if I did really fucking well and like actually ended up winning that fight on the bridge, would the game just end?
So there gets to a point where, because I remember because I tried, that's one of my favorite things when they do give you an option. Like I'll call it out. Far Cry has done really good at these sometimes, where it's just like, if you beat the impossible battle, they'll make it like, yeah, okay, you did it, good job.
Yeah.
This one, it does eventually get to a point where it's just like, nope, you used to get chopped.
Damn it. Because I sat there and I was like, do I want to go back? I'm like, no, I don't want to go back. ADD's kicking in. Paper clips. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, we'll let the story play out. I fucked up. That was my one chance. I was running it like as if it was a D&D campaign, and I rolled badly. And I'm like, well, all right. Well, the story's going this way now. But like, I did well at one point. But man, he hit like a fucking truck. He hit
Oh,
me
yeah.
twice, and
And
it was like boom, consecutive hit, boom, and I was like knocked. I'm like, oh shit.
even max level, like when you finally do, like obviously fight him, spoilers,
Yeah.
he still hits like a Mack truck. You're just like, holy shit, you can't fuck around with him. Like this is why this game's so good. Like the balancing is just like, you better come prepared, otherwise we're just gonna kick your ass. So you come prepared, and she's like, we're still gonna kick your ass. Play the game, know how to
Yeah.
do this shit.
Get
And
good,
it's
scrub.
really cool. Yeah, exactly. It's really it's such a good game. It's such a good game.
All right, Chris, what do you got?
Not too much. So I did get a kind of pressed copy of a demo, so like a extended demo of The Case of the Golden Idol, which is like a point and click kind of murder mystery kind of game. So there's different like little murders you're kind of solving, and you just gotta kind of click around, get your clues, going through investigation mode, and then you go into solving mode, and you gotta kind of like drag words you have into certain boxes, like so and so first name last name killed first name last name. This is how they did it, or this person died. This is how they died. Kind of solve that kind of issue. If you get something wrong, be like, hey, two or more things in this window is wrong. At least two things, two or less, or whatever. Like, or kind of more or less, and kind of figure it out. They're actually really short, like 4 minutes per like murder to kind of solve. Like, so it
Oh,
doesn't
wow.
really take very long. So I was like, okay, this is not long at all. I thought this was gonna be a little longer. So I wish it was kind of longer, more in depth, and I would have to think a lot more than I did, because you're really just kind of clicking around and then solving and moving things around, and all kind of makes sense, and it's not difficult at all.
I just Googled this game, hand to God, like honestly, this looks like we went to Reddit/r/dank memes and asked them to make a game. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this imagery that I'm looking at? Like, even some of like the GIFs and stuff like that, I'm just like, what the hell? This is not, this is, I can't even speak to what this game looks like to me. Like, it's just like, how is this not like every single one of these scenes is a meme to me? Like, there's this, I don't understand. This looks ridiculous.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, this is like way too simple and easy. I'm like, all right.
Like, it's not a mystery at all at that point.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like running through, and it's just point and click. It's not even like solving anything,
Right.
which sucks.
Fuck.
Like,
Yeah.
that defeats
kinda
the whole
like
point
a-
of a murder mystery.
Yep. So then Servertron, which is a local kind of new local company that runs ticket servers, they're in beta right now. So I have like 1,000 free credits. The way they can operate is there's no limits on like player count limits on your servers. Basic one is you get one server, you got up to 5 game worlds. So you're only running and paying for the server when it's up and running and people are playing on it. If no one's on the server, it'll shut down after 15 minutes, so you're not wasting credits. And then you can just easily boot it back up when you're ready to play again. They don't really have
So you're
an
paying
app,
for
but you can log
time
in
and
through-
power at that
Yep.
point, instead of like paying for a dedicated, like constantly on server.
Yeah.
How do you turn it on
Um,
though? That's the question.
So that you can go to the website and log in either through your phone, which is very well optimized for mobile. So that's really easy, or through your web browser, and you just kind of hit play on that server.
So
know,
if like
boot right up.
so this is the reason why I asked. So like, let's say a friend wants to play on the server from like the East Coast, but no one's been playing on it. Do they have to contact you to start it up then, or can you assign like a moderator privilege to logins and stuff?
So the way it looks like is there's a user kind of tab, so it looks like you might be able to, but right now
Okay.
it's in beta, so that it just says.
So like in the future,
beta,
it might
so
be.
next-
Right now, you're the
Yeah,
only one with control
'cause-
over it.
Yeah, because right now, like if you go to like the user tab, like because I boot up a Valheim server, it just says go over users. It says like beta not available, like mods not available because beta.
Gotcha.
There is a tab for mods to install, Um,
Hmm.
and so like you can shut down the server, jump over to a different game, boot up that server. I'll boot up on that your kind dedicated server slot, and then you want to go back to your other game. You can do that. All that save data is still there.
Okay. I mean, that's good because then you don't have to worry about like with some of the other ones, like if you sign up and you do V Rising and Valheim, you have to dedicate seats out within each of them, and then those servers, they're always running, which is good because it's a computer that's always running, and for some of those cases, like great for drop in drop out play. But then you're paying for, like, if people are only really playing like 3 hours a day, it's kind of like a waste of a lot of time and energy, especially energy, as we become more energy conscious and whatnot, with like people complaining about Ethereum mining and stuff like that. Like the cloud, like as much as people complain about Ethereum mining and shit like that, the cloud and data centers, man, they eat up so much fucking power. It's not even funny.
Yep.
Like, you want to bitch about things. You're bitching about like minor people exploiting a way to make money off of a little thing using some power. But man, you talk about like Google and Amazon and all those people that are doing it, man, shit. There is so much juice being used. And yes, while they're connected to solar for a lot of cases, the sun ain't out 24 hours a day, people. And they're not like sitting there with, giant football fields worth of batteries. Yeah. Let's redirect some of that information back down, people.
Yeah, so I boot up Valheim server for that, and Orvander hopped on, and Patrick as well.
And how is newer Valheim, though? So I guess that's the question, because we haven't heard you talk about it since they've done some of their updates.
I just kind of recently started getting on. I started kind of new character, and obviously new server, so...
Oh, so you haven't gotten into any of the newer content? Oh, damn.
No.
I was hoping that you got into it so I could hear like what what do you think of like some of the newer stuff? But yeah, okay, that makes sense. Was it not easy for you to transfer save data into their server?
Well, I just started a new character anyways.
Oh, okay.
You might be able to, but I could maybe import a seed, but when I used to play, we'd play it on a different dedicated server, and it wasn't mine server anyways. But I think they might have, like, in a way, they have a Discord that you can kind of hop on. They're very active in there, answering questions and kind of helping support as they kind of work to launch full time. Right now they have Valheim, 7 Days to Die, Terrarium, Minecraft. I think Don't Starve Together, maybe. I think V Rising.
You said the magic words there.
Yeah.
You got Jason's attention.
Yeah, I think that's what they got. Let's see. Greater World.
They got stuff.
Yeah,
Stuff
Minecraft
in
Don't
there.
Starve Together, Terraria 7 Days to Die, and Valheim. Minecraft.
Which are really like they're the big ones that are out there right now. Let's be honest here.
And V Rising's on the list to add. So I think that'll
Well,
probably
V
be
Rising,
next
I don't
one
know if they've got like a dedicated contract or anything like that, because they worked a lot with whatchamacallit. Shit, I had the server too, and I forget what the name of the company is, but they worked a lot with them to get everything set up within there. So, all right, so Valheim, and you worked on a dedicated server. Anything else?
Nope. I do, like you guys, I got some other stuff I need to play too, but I downloaded and just haven't really been in the mood. I'm like, I'll play something, but nothing sounds good.
It's very rare that all three of us get into like a funk.
Wow. Yeah. I'm just like, wow. Okay.
Usually, like
something
one of us is there
together.
telling the other two that we're horrible human beings and that we just need to really fucking just play games. And we're all just like, yeah, there's not really a whole lot out right now. Now, next month, there's going to be a few games that are coming out on Game
Yeah, there should be a
Pass
few
and
things that we can do.
whatnot
Yeah.
We're going to be excited about.
And Thinking Pines comes out soon,
I'm gonna be
so
honest. I'm excited
excited for
about
that
3.1. I'm excited about Genshin 3.1 and the 2-year anniversary, but that's still a week away. Like 3.0 came out and there was they put a shit ton of content into that launch. But beyond that, it's like there hasn't been a whole lot that's like really like grabbing me, that like really makes me want to play it. Like I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel like playing that.
Yeah,
I don't
Beacon Pines comes out Thursday. I've been waiting for that one.
know. So more games. So hopefully next time we'll have
Yeah.
some stuff to talk about. It'll be fine. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for the IBIF First podcast. We understand that you have a choice in podcasts, and sure, you may have made the wrong choice in this instance, but that's okay because we still love you. You can always watch every IBIF First podcast, as well as Cutscene, our anime watch along podcast, and Patch Notes, which is our game developer interview podcast, all on twitch.tv/IBIF1st, where we broadcast the recordings on Mondays or Tuesdays, depending on what day of the week it ends up following that works best for us. But that's all set there. You can also join in on the conversation with everything by going to discord.ibiditfirst.com or ibiditfirst.com/discord, whichever one it is that strikes your fancy, in order to get onto the Discord, where you get notifications of when we go live. You can talk with us three assholes within there. You can get in on the conversations that we have for Extra Life, which is the charity of choice that we do everything for here on IBIF First. Speaking of Extra Life, we do have Extra Life Game Day coming up. Thank you, Chris, for showing your Phoenix Children's Hospital water bottle, which is our main hospital of choice here for IBIF First, but then people on our team do all sorts of different ones all throughout the country. Mm-hmm. We have Game Day coming up in November, as well as we just continually raise money, as you can see on our streams. We're at $3,159 so far for the year, which is freaking amazing because we're very close to our total like team-wise for 2020 or 2021 as a whole already, before we even hit Game Day, which is our big day. So thank you everybody that has donated, and if you do have anything that you want to donate, please feel free to come in and donate. You can go to ibiditfirst.com/extralife or charity, ibiditfirst.com/charity in order to donate there. You can also donate to our Throne account, which is the first and currently only 100% charity Throne account that you can get, and 100% of the items there go directly to Phoenix Children's Hospital. Throne has also been nice enough to waive most of their fees. They've put everything down to cost, so they're not really making any money off of this. They're just kind of like making the amount of money to keep everything running. So anything that you purchase, though, will go directly to Phoenix Children's Hospital, and they let the kids use money, it's monopoly money, to go into their store and purchase things as they do it. And there's items in there, like you're going to see gift cards and all sorts of things in there, and that is because they need items for teenagers. Phoenix Children's Hospital and all the other hospitals, they do anybody that is of pediatric age, which surprisingly goes all the way up to 18. So you'll get 17-year-olds that will still be going into Phoenix Children's Hospital for things, and they want them to be able to get things in there too. So there's like cameras and weird stuff within there as well too.
They want them V-Bucks.
Yep, V-Bucks, gift cards to Chili's, Target. Like there's just weird shit in there that was all requested by Phoenix Children's Hospital. But everything you purchase goes directly there so that they can purchase it. You can also find us Facebook, IBIF1st.com, Twitter, IBIF1st, Instagram, IBIF1st, and all of your major social media platforms as well. You can email any of us. We'd love to hear feedback from everybody and start the conversations there in email. You can send it to anybody. Like literally just type in anybody at ibiditfirst.com and it will go to us. But you have Chris, Jason, Eric, fuck you, we hate your mom, all those things. Anything that you type in there will go directly to us, no matter what. Does anybody else have anything else to end off this podcast with?
Just bye-bye.
Hey, you didn't cut out that time either.
got the you in there. Love it.
Yeah, like it went the entire time and like caught the yip and everything. All right.
That was quality. Bye-bye.
It was quality. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us. We don't really have anybody in here right now. It's late on a Monday night, and sometimes we have people. Sometimes we don't.
Just us.
But it's just us, so we're going to go ahead and end stream. Thank you, everybody, for joining us over there on Twitter, and we will see you guys this week. Bye-bye.
Bye.